am Cait, and this is Caits.Comics, my new YouTube page. I decided that it would make sense for me to do a little intro on who I am and what I hope to create on here. To do that, I figured I would go through a little bit of my history in comics and collecting, and give a little rundown of what I hope to bring to my page. So to get started, when did I become a collector? So that journey really began about 2 years ago. Prior to that, I'm a pretty avid reader, and as a kid, read anything I can get these grubby little hands on, and that meant when I was at my grandmother's house, she had a number of comics from my dad and uncle growing up, so that involved a lot of G.I. Joe, and she would also grab those Archie digests at like the grocery store for me to read. So between both of those, that was probably my more in-depth exposure to some comics. But you know, as you found a Spider-Man comic here or a Superman comic there, definitely read those as well. How did that impact me sort of now as a collector? I do collect an awful lot of the Archie titles, any that really, capture my attention. I'm primarily focused on a lot of those Golden Age and Silver Age comics from that era, but if something makes me laugh, I'll grab that as well. And the unspoken question, the answer is Veronica. So how did I get back into collecting about 2 years ago? That really started thanks to the Harley Quinn animated series. I began to watch that show, and then between one of the seasons, they released a comic series called Harley Quinn Eat Bang Kill Tour. Quite a title. And I was like, oh, you know what? I want to read that in order to collect it. At that point, it was coming out in, I'm gonna guess, weekly issues, but it could have been monthly just for like a summer run. And I found an awesome LCS in Massachusetts and went in, grabbed those, asked a lot of questions, and these guys are awesome. If you're ever near Kamikaze Comics, definitely give them a look. They helped me figure out what a pull list was, start up one of those, and really explore some titles. Primarily, what I'm reading now is an awful lot of DC because my two favorite characters are Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy and Supergirl, so I'm reading a lot of those each week. I'm hoping to post some of my new comic book day hauls on here, so you will see a pretty heavy DC weekly pull. Aside from that, I've also been dipping my toe into some indie titles. My absolute favorite has been Saga, which is one of my favorite stories, hands down, in comics. Read through that whole series up to current point, and I am understanding what the Saga weight is now, so can't wait for the next issue, Brian Vaughn. And Fiona Staples, you guys have been putting out amazing stuff, and hopefully I won't have to wait too long for the next issue, but that has been my dip there, but I've been expanding that currently, making my way through Invincible, and Why the Next Last Man is going to be my follow-up to that. So on here, I hope to explore and maybe spotlight some of my favorite titles, characters, and recommendations for folks who maybe are also interested. Aside from that, I am also pretty big history nerd. I used to teach high school history for a couple years, and that's just a real passion of mine. Currently, I am reading some books on comics and its connection to imperialism, and I also just picked up the like Invisible Women of Marvel book, which shows a lot of the work women have put into comics and maybe not gotten the credit for. So I'm hoping to kind of use that as a jumping off point of different people to explore and spotlight, hopefully on here as well. Aside from that, I think we'll just see what else comes out of some of these videos as I really learn video editing and navigating this new sort of place in my collecting and comic enjoyment. Aside from YouTube, I have been pretty involved, I would say, in the comic community on Instagram, where is really where I met a lot of people for the first time who were reading and collecting a lot of the same things that I have. And on there I post a lot of what I'm currently reading and doing in terms of comics, but really hope to go more in depth on here. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see something else, if you could hit that like button, drop a comment of something that you hope that maybe I could create a video about or explore, that would be awesome. And if you haven't already subscribed, it would be amazing if you did. And I guess we'll all see what this journey looks like as it unfolds, and I really appreciate you watching this. Have a good rest of your day.